Your IQ means your I quit. At what point are you willing to quit on your purpose or what you're willing to do? What could happen? I mean, what kind of scenario can you come up with that says, you know what, forget it. I just want to die as an ordinary person and all my gifts will be buried with me in the grave or be floating in the air in the ashes. I mean, they said the wealthiest place in the world is in the grave because they have our answers. So why do we need to seek out our purpose? Why are we even here? We're here collectively. We have a collective mission and we have a personal mission. But the problem with this and how you see the world is basically how you see yourself. Okay? So if you think the world is in turmoil, look inside. All right? But anyway, so when we do this and we look inside and we don't answer the call, then someone else is hurting. Because like we said, we're all connected. So if you don't do your part and I don't do my part, then what is there? So we need each other, but we need people to be individuals and find out for themselves and have that journey. And that's what this is all about, is having a place to go where we know not only network with each other and build. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what your mission is. And let's hook up together and bring it together and let's make it happen. The worst thing that happened to me in this business was finding out you can take an idea and make it come to fruition.
Wow.
Once I realized that, it was over. It was over. You know, October 24th was my birthday. I turned 36. Yay! It was very interesting because I didn't hardly tell anybody. Before, years before I had, last year I celebrated for 3 days straight. The year before was a week. I had something each, because everybody said they're busy. Okay, great. What day are you available? Because I had something every day of the week. Before that, just extensive celebrations. My 30th was really great. But see, the thing with it is, like I said, I joined in the military at 13, got out when I was 30, and the reason why I got out, because I thought, well, maybe if I invested in myself and find out who I am, I could come out better in 10 years, because I had 10 years to retire from the military. And so I said, let me take this 10 years and invest in myself and see if I can come out better than I would if I stayed in the military. So if I stayed in the military, I would have retired at age 40 and with 22 years. And no one could tell me what that meant. And so I said, hey, I'm going to work on myself and I'm going to go ahead and do it. And little did I know, less than 2 years later, I was homeless. I had a foreclosure. My car that was paid for, I had to leave it in New Orleans because I was caught up in a hurricane. It was a smaller hurricane right before Katrina. And things happened, one thing after another. And so lost everything, my savings, everything. And so that was a different position to be in, but it was like I was physically broke, but I was getting spiritually more fed and building up, and it started on my journey when I'm laying on the floor. I'm an avid tither, great church goer, and I'm laying here, my little brother, who was like 18, 19 at the time, had to give me a place to stay, and I didn't have any furniture, laying on the floor, like, God, what is the difference between your truth and religion? And oh my God, as I got up and rebuking every thought after that, because I just knew it couldn't be true, when the truth started unveiling itself. And that's how it got started. But, when you're talking about your I quit, when you start a mission and you have a baby, and I don't have one physically, but I mean, I can understand, you have one and then it's like, oh, never mind. This is too much work. Darn, I want to sleep in today. You think about it. How many people have done that with their babies, their dreams? Oh, not today. I mean, how much longer are we going to malnourish our babies? You know, and you know, our physical babies are just a representation of a thought and idea as well. So it's the same thing. So, you know, I was sitting here just, you know, on the couch bawling because no one shows up. You know, but it's like, what is my I quit? And that's what I was alluding to. So, you know, I'm 6 years in on my 10-year plan. I have 4 years to go. I'm in the 4th quarter. Now I have all this knowledge, and now it's like, now I need applied knowledge. Now it's like I have all the answers. It's time to get out there. Now there's no more classes I can take. I mean, I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I have 3 classes before I get a associate's in Spanish. There's no more classes to take. There's no more prep work. It's time to get busy. And now I'm starting to see the consequences of me not stepping up and not taking charge, not taking my rightful place. Before, you know, when I got out of the military, I was cocky, had all this, whatever, and then life slapped me down, got down, and then somehow I stayed down. And then now it's time to get up and start running. It's 4th quarter. It's time to go. And it's like, wait a minute. I gotta, you know, feel around a little bit. I gotta check myself. Okay, I've been down for a while. It's time to get up. At what point do we say, hey, no more excuses. Let's go and make this happen. So I'm doing this. Now, here's the thing. Here it is. On the 24th, my 36th birthday. 6 years in, 4 years ago. What is my IQ? My I quit. The next day, my lights get turned off. Okay, cool. Okay, you know, I'm military. I lived in the woods. So, you know, electricity, no big deal, optional, you know. Get a couple candles, you know, do some meditation. We could, you know. No big deal, you know. So then the next day, the water. Oh, heck no, I can't do that. I was good with the lights, but then the water, you know, and I'm sitting here, and then all of a sudden, it was okay for like a day or so, but then the weather changed, and it was like, you know, oh my gosh, it's like, what in the world am I going to do? And, you know, you got all these situations, you got all these thoughts, you got all these indecent proposals, you know. And first time I was like, So now I know what people may be going through when they, you know, it's like, huh. But even with all that, I remember even being homeless one time, and a guy, you know, was an airplane pilot, and he also had raised dogs and did dog shows and competitions in Europe, you know, really well off. And it's like, hey, you know, I was 18, 19 years old at the time. Oh, you know, you can come live with me, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, it's like, you know, it seems like a good option, but I always had it in me to try to figure it out myself. You know, I don't want to give over my power. I have to figure it out. I got to do it on my own. And that's how I felt a couple days after, you know. And it's like, you know what, I don't want to give my power away. I'm going to figure this out. You know, I'm not going to go back to homelessness again. I'm not going to do it. And I even remember writing, you know, that, you know, what is my IQ? What is my I quit? You know, is it when my lights get turned off? Is it when my water gets turned off? And it's like, no, my vision is my vision is my vision. And it will come to pass no matter what. And so even sitting here today amongst you guys and just knowing that, and I still had to prepare for this event, and I still had to promote it, and I wasn't feeling like it. It was like, oh man, you know, my family's like, just get a job. I mean, yes, that's the logical thing to do, right? And it was so funny because they were like, hey, if you go to this call center, they're hiring right now. I bust out crying. I was like, please, I don't want to go. Because I know what that will do for me. Now, be wise. If you need a temporary job, if you need something, you know, use some wisdom. But don't sell out for it, you know. But I knew if I become HR again, that's my background as well, that I'll be too cush. I'll like it too much. and I'll forget. Because it already happened. It already delayed me 4 years when I had my other job. I was doing good. I didn't want to quit, so I had to wait till I got fired, just so I can be boosted to go and do what I was supposed to do. So I know that the dangers of going and getting a job, I got to make this work. I got to make this happen. So that's why I say when you get an idea, because I know as an entrepreneur, all you need is an idea. That's all you need, and it's free. One idea, and that's what's so great about being an entrepreneur, because, as an employee, you got to wait till the 1st of the 15th to get your check. So you have to wait on the circumstance, a date, something outside of you to try to figure out how you're going to survive today. But as an entrepreneur, all you just need is one idea. And bam, the manifestation. So that's why I said they messed up when they found out, all we needed was an idea. And then as soon as I locked into that, then a thought came. Then another thought was like, I can do this, I can do this. And before you know it, bam, the water's on, bam, the lights, bam, here it is, bam, here we are today, look at us. So you never know what's going on, but what is your I quit? Well, that wasn't it. What else can I do in the process? A great guy said that if you want to, if you want to be great, be a servant of many. So it just got me thinking, what can I do more for other people? Now I have my own issues, but what can I do? Also a guy had told me, because I was like studying Esther, it's like such a time as this, what is my race, what is my gender, has to do with my purpose, I need to do something, I need to save my people. And he said, don't do it because they'll kill you. Said if you want to save somebody, first save yourself and then share it with one other person. So if the statistics say 100% is doing one thing and you change that direction yourself, you become aware, then you change it, now it's 99. Now I share it with somebody else, now it's 98. That's the way you make things and make changes. So that's where the idea is. Each one teach one. And that's where it's all about, and that's how we're going to do this. But I want to challenge you to look at it. We got, like we said, we have our collective purpose, and then we have our individual. But just like we have a McDonald's and a Burger King and a KFC, McDonald's knows what they're good at, Burger King knows what they're good at, KFC knows what they're good at. We know the difference. We see the signs. We know if we want a burger, we want a Big Mac, to go to where? McDonald's. We know flame, broiled, whatever, have it your way, we go to what? Burger King. If we wanted fried chicken, we go to what? Turkey. Either one. But here's the deal. Why didn't you go to McDonald's? Right, so you know where to go. Now, if I needed something, who do I go to? If I say, hey, I have an idea, but here's everybody sitting here, there's no sign, there's no open doors, there's no sign saying, what do you do? How do I know to go to you? How do I know? And then, even when I go to you, if you're confused on what you offer, how do I know what's on your menu so I know what I'm going to get when I get there? So I might know who you are, and I might know what you do, but I'm confused because I don't know how I can use you. But everywhere else has their signs and said, this is what we provide. So that's what it's all about. Finding not only who you are, but then, so that way someone comes and they can come and enjoy you for that time, and enjoy you for that time, and then we can do it all collectively. So that's what this is about. And I believe you guys are like my core group. So you will be inspired and you can tell somebody else. And they can come in and they can get inspired. And then they'll bring someone else in and they'll bring someone else in. And then we can build a community of people that are aware, that's on their journey, not for themselves, but the corporate vision as well. Let's make this happen. This is what we're here to do. And that's my passion. And I'm not going to quit. And there's a quote that I love that says, it's impossible. Let's see, how does it go? It's impossible to stop a man or a woman who refuses to quit.